Welcome to the Fire Rescue Wellness Podcast Spotlight, where we revisit take-home messages and shine a light on previous FRW podcasts in 10 minutes or less. I'm Lex, AZ's right and left-hand woman, and I churn out these mini episodes for her. Let's go.
We're in a pretty good spot, but yes, there have been challenges along the way, and but we've also made some strides in some of the different policies we've put into place and in the mindset of our fire department coming in the door from day one. So overall, yes, there's been a lot of challenges along the way, but right now we are in a much better place, I feel, than we were 15 years ago.
I agree. I also think that we're eating typically so much better than we did 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. I remember being a probationary firefighter at our Station 1, which had sometimes 11 people there, and being handed $55 because everyone put in $5, and then going and having to find some sort of suitable meal for $55. That was panic right there. That was panic. As you were speaking, I was thinking, you were talking about funding. In addition to funding from the district, where have you found additional funding or support, if any?
We have a 2% board, and they've assisted us along the way with some equipment purchases. As far as any other funding sources, grants or anything like that, we really haven't received anything. But the 2% board has been very beneficial along the way, and they've supported us.
So if you are not in Illinois, the 2% fund or foreign fire insurance tax, the way I understand it, it's more or less if industry is purchasing their insurance from an out-of-state insurance carrier. There's some sort of a fine, if you will, that the insurance carrier has to pay to the fire district. Is that how you understand it, to your best?
Yeah, something like that. And that's where that 2% comes in. But then that goes directly to emergency services for supporting those businesses that are going out of state. Something to that effect, yeah.
I know. I wish I understood better, but oh well. We shall clarify in a future episode. So are there any policies that you've been able to institute or sort of push through that you think were really valuable and helpful?
The biggest one was our morning fitness program. And our administration has supported us along the way with fitness and wellness. And our fire chief is on board with everything that we do as far as getting people to work out every shift. So much that he signed off on the policy that was mandatory fitness training every shift and set aside time first thing in the morning to allow us to work out. Barring calls, but other than calls, we have, after our vehicle checks in the morning, we have time set aside, an hour and a half for fitness, grabbing something to eat, getting cleaned up after you work out, and being ready for your day. And Annette, you mentioned our eating habits have changed significantly. Well, I think that is somewhat attributed to that morning fitness, because when you come into work and you do your vehicle checks and you go right into a workout, when you get done with your workout, you get cleaned up, and one of the companies is heading out to the store. So with that mindset of, I just worked out, I just did something good for my body, and now I'm going to put good things in my body. So that really has, I've seen a huge change in the nutrition of our meals after we started that morning workout program. But I do have to give props to our administration for giving us that support, and that, while it hasn't been a challenge for us, I could see being a challenge for many fire departments, and I know that it is. But that morning fitness program gets us warmed up for the day, gets our muscles activated, gets us up and moving and blood flowing. And the first year of that program was the first time in the history of the department that we saw a decrease in our workman's comp premiums. Now, we did have some changeover from and some quite a few retirements and younger members coming in as well. And so it can't be solely attributed to that morning fitness program, but that was one of the benefits, or one of the big components that the chiefs, the administration, was looking for, was how is this going to benefit us? And in the very first year, they saw a decrease in workers' comp premiums, which was huge. And so they have continued to support it from that day forward.
And I think the important thing to point out is that they did allow us to decrease as many barriers to entry as possible. So we actually are allowed to go into work wearing our fitness clothing. We don't have to have our uniform on immediately in the morning, and then we shower and we change. So barriers to entry and decreasing those barriers is very, very important. I wanted to ask you, I have a particular favorite piece of equipment that you purchased. Was it 6, 7, 8 years ago now? So tell the listeners about my favorite piece of equipment and how you got that. Luke doesn't remember.
I don't remember your
Luke bought us an InBody.
Yes. I was thinking fitness. So we have an InBody 570, which is a bioimpedance scale that is as accurate as a water test, and in some instances more accurate. It is only as accurate as you make it. If you come in first thing in the morning and you weigh in or weigh out, that is going to be your most accurate measurements. But that scale was, at the time, I want to say about $7,000. And that was a purchase that the district supported us on because of the benefits of the scale. And I agree with you. I think that's the best piece of equipment we have.